Explain yourself.
I was just turning off my fan, which I supercharged with my knowledge of tools. I have no idea what order these are coming out in, but that is a reference to the spectre of Tim Allen, which has haunted us for several hours now.
Well, it doesn't matter what order they come out, because I think Tim Allen is only on Patreon.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think Tim Allen is only on Patreon, so people will have no idea what you're talking about. Thanks for making this podcast incomprehensible, Richie.
Oh?
And what are we talking about today?
Recording another one of the Great Bloodborne Notes podcasts, which you just informed me people like and think are useful.
Yes! Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it shows what I know.
As per usual.
Yeah, this podcast has really taught me that everything I think is going to be completely useless and stupid, people end up liking. The things that I obsess over getting absolutely right, people just go, well, actually, no. Everyone knows the game's written in English first, so I turned this off after 5 seconds.
True story.
It's a true story.
Aren't you happy we're doing these podcasts?
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. So people can stop giving me crap about keeping you prisoner. Like that chained ogre.
And that's a reference to...
This is note number 14.
Right.
And which note is it going to be?
This note is, the Menses Ritual must be stopped lest we all become beasts.
Richie.
Yeah.
I said, which note is it going to be? But, which note is it going 9S?
Sin with a timely Near Automata reference. Am I the 9S of this podcast?
Why?
Am I gonna, get the Patreon password one day and discover that there is no audience, and it's all just an elaborate scheme to keep me recording things?
Aww.
So, this note...
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, let's follow the outline. Do you hear it?
It's a beautiful outline.
Thank you. Okay.
You can tell it's serious because it's on paper.
Yeah, it's on the pink paper. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. The note we are discussing today. Where is it?
It is in a cell in Yahagol. And it's a cell that you can't get to until after the red moon has risen.
And
so that makes it distinct from other cells in Yahagol that have notes in them, but you could read earlier.
Excellent. And what kind of note is it? Is it a book? Is it on paper?
It is held up by messengers.
Ah.
And it is near a dead hunter that has a bolt blood gem on it.
What does that mean?
Well, Yahagol is where the spark hunters lived. So, it never quite specifies what was going on, but basically there's a whole lot of spark hunter stuff lying around Yahagol. So, there is a dead, presumably spark hunter because they have the lightning bolt gem on them. Because that's a bolt damage thing. So either either they had a base in Yahagul and Mensis took over and took them prisoner, or just like Mensis attacked them and just dragged them back to Yahagul and stole their stuff. And I think the presence of Paarl, because Paarl is like implied to be something to do with Archibald and everything, like, although, like, if you buy that Paarl was a beast before Mensis showed up, then it makes sense that Yahagul would be the Spark Hunter's base. But if you say that Paarl is a Spark Hunter who transformed at some point after Mensis took over, which is a theory because there's that like tunnel dug out from the cell, then maybe like the Spark Hunters were somewhere else and Mensis just captured them all and sent them to Yahagul. Nevertheless, this note is from a Spark Hunter who knows what Mensis are doing.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Richie. Now, can you read that note in your best Spark Hunter voice?
What would that be?
Well, whatever your muse tells you it is.
Like, it's like someone who's like electrically powered.
Yeah.
The Menses Ritual must be stopped until Buzz click we all become beasts.
Are they robots from the 1960s?
They are now. Because they're powered by electricity. Well, Archibald showed up and he's like, I've got the secret weapon here, and it's this like 4 foot tall robot hunter. It's like, hello, German.
Okay.
This is what it looks like.
Oh no. Let me see. Oh my god, that's exactly how I pictured it. Oh, it's adorable. Where is this from?
It's from Metal Mickey. So, the note.
Yeah, okay, right.
Left by this adorable robot.
Oh.
It's okay, he's not dead, he's just deactivated. And then we just got to put a new battery in him and he'll get back up again.
Okay, excellent. The Menses Ritual must be stopped. What's the Menses Ritual?
Well, the Menses Ritual has been a recurring theme of the last 4 notes. So I imagine we've covered it, but I guess if you're listening to these in a random order, or maybe there's like a long gap and you've forgotten.
Yeah.
Or you're Sin and you've forgotten because there was like a 2-hour tangent that hopefully no one will ever hear. The Mensis Ritual refers to what is going on in Yahagul and the beckoning of the moon and what Mikolash is doing with Murgo. Yes, that's the whole process is the Mensis Ritual. It's not like just one part of it.
Lest we all become beasts. What is that?
Because when the red moon descends, you might say that the boundary between man and beast is blurred. So the red moon's going to come down, and then because we are not sufficiently enlightened, we will all turn into beasts. And this would have had a lot more impact had they not had to gut the maps at the 11th hour. Because, like, I think I brought this up on another one, but we'll just say it again here. You know, in Yharnam, in central Yharnam, there's the big hunter guys who, like, basically just look like a beast. They're, like, very, very tall. They have horns. they're like clearly like a werewolf, but the game treats them as though they're just people. You know the ones I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like to be clear, like the game doesn't technically call them beasts, but like if you throw a blood cocktail, they'll chase it. So like basically what I'm getting at is that in the old version of Bloodborne, when the maps were more dynamic, there were different enemy sets, and I have seen with mine own eyes, I have beheld that there are groups of those big huntsman guys, and also a corresponding group of human Yanamites in the same area. But they can be switched on and off. So, like, one people will probably be familiar with is, like, as you go to Gascoigne's arena, there's two of the big guys standing over a hunter corpse that's propped up against some statues. You know, the ones I mean. Like, people will know who they are. Like, you always run past them on the way to Gascoigne.
Yeah.
It is possible to, like, basically alter a switch in the game.
Uh-huh.
And then they become two human Yanamites in the exact same pose with the same weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So what was going to happen was that when the red moon hit, it would swap out the human Yanamite mobs for those guys. So, like, all the human hunt... There would be like Gilbert happened to the whole city. So all the mobs of humans with burning torches become the mobs of beasts with burning torches. But because they had to very rapidly, like, gut that, they just stuffed them both in the same map and basically treated the beasts like they were people who were partially transformed. So, had, like, that worked out, like, that would be a lot clearer. The red moon would turn everyone into beasts. Except the Spark Hunter robot.
What do you think the Spark Hunter robot's name is?
Some kind of horrible pun, I imagine.
Maybe that should be a thing, like, hey, in the comments, post your best Spark Hunter robot name for the Spark Hunter robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm. So basically, the note is saying stop the Menses Ritual or else everybody becomes werewolves.
Well, the problem is that by the time we read it, the Menses Ritual's already happened. Oops!
My bad.
It is our bad. We killed Rome. It's all our fault.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Do you think the Yarnamite saying it's all your fault is a foreshadowing?
Yes. No, that's actually a recording of From Software talking to Sony about the cuts. And they're like, why doesn't the door behind the cleric beast work? It's all your fault!
And we talked a bunch about the Mensis Ritual in the podcast.
Well, 4 times in a row, yes.
Oh, but I mean before that, before the notes.
Yeah.
We talked about it with Bean on the Mikolash podcast. And we talked about this in one of the classic episodes. I think one of the first episodes we recorded, actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the first episodes we recorded where if you said to me, like, this is going to end up with you improvising a Spark Hunter robot character based on the largely forgotten novelty sitcom Metal Mickey. It would have been... I mean, I'd be like, yeah, fair. That is probably how this will end. But...
Oh no! Okay, sorry.
Okay,
that's
you
not
have
it.
other questions? Yeah.
What is this?
That's the outline. I was going to say the policy, but that's something else.
That's the policy. And if you want to... Oh, okay. whoever tells us what the policy is referencing to in the comments gets 10 internet points. Okay. So, who left this note?
Presumably the Spark Hunter robot, who we find deactivated in the cell, next to the bolt blood gem that is the battery that powers him.
And why did
he left it?
Why did he leave it?
To warn other hunters that the Menses Ritual is going to make them all into beasts!
And what does the note say in Japanese?
The same thing.
Okay. Okay, I guess that's it.
That was quite quick. Usually about 25 minutes. This was only 18.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you, Richie.
I feel like... Okay.
Yeah,
you didn't want to drag it out longer? There weren't other, questions that had nothing to do with the topic?
Well, how long have we been recording for?
Well, it's currently 4:30 a.m., so... a while.
A few hours?
Possibly.
Yeah. More than a couple, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I got all the questions out of my system. Yeah. Did you like my 2B9S joke in the beginning?
It's alright.
What?
It was alright.
Thank you. Do you want to do an outro?
That was our discussion of an extremely direct note.
Hey.
It explains itself quite succinctly. I didn't feel like there was a great deal to discuss, but it ended with us creating the Spark Hunter robot, who I imagine may make some future appearances. I'd rather discuss that than Tim Allen.
Okay. Thank you, Richie.
Thank you, Sin.